can't change that.
Oh, wow. Such an original dig.
I'm not.
That's never been thrown at him before.
Oh, man.
It does hurt him.
Who?
Some people.
Pat Mahomes,
Oh, yeah.
his voice.
Yeah.
Bart's full of clever original comments.
I'm not
him
trying
this
to be
morning.
original.
My bad.
I'm trying to tell you exactly what he sounds like.
We don't need any locker room fighting here on the Auburn Plain.
No shit, man.
Another thing happened.
Yeah.
What didn't happen this week?
I know. It was,
And then they won the game at
I know.
Houston. It's craziness.
they're like the old Oakland A's.
When's the last time you read horseplay in a story? Yeah. I mean, good news. Arkansas signed up for, what's the baseball guys? Tom Mansky's three-point shooting drills over the weekend.
Yeah, that was.
They all got the video.
They
Tom Mansky baseball skill. Fred McGriff's going to be shooting.
I don't recall a game aside from Syracuse. I don't recall a game where the other team played zone the entire game. Maybe it's happened. I'm sure it has. I just don't recall it.
We got people on here. Please don't leave with the football program again.
Oh, well,
That's what they wanted to start with. What they wanted their text to be. What do you mean?
times have changed.
Here we go.
All right.
All that post-game stuff is in your email, Bo.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, thanks. That's one for the ages right there. It really is.
That sounds slow.
Hmm?
It's nothing. The return from them sounds low. It's not my return.
Man, so much stuff happened over the weekend.
Crazy.
I wonder where to start.
Good stuff.
I mean, basketball, football. You went to bed early last night. The Lions came back and won. Bart went 1-2 in his locks. I mean, it was
the game-winning field goal.
Jake Bates made a 52 and a 58-yard field goal. You know, boys, when I was growing up, I'm gonna sound like your dad here for a minute. When I was growing up,
Gather around, kids.
yeah, gather around the
Cup
radio.
of coffee, gather.
Texas week was the week in the football season. I mean, there was no other week that compared, no matter what had happened before, no matter what you thought might happen after. Texas week was when everyone focused on the very same thing, the game on Saturday. Now, times were different then. I mean, we didn't spend the week talking about whether or not the coach ought to be fired. Kind of like I suspect we'll do at least part of this week. But those of you who are old enough to remember. Or every storefront, I'm sorry, had a sign that said Beat Texas. The little signs that somehow made their way into every town in Arkansas between the game on Saturday night and Monday morning of Texas week. It's like they were magically there. There was always one business that had them, generally the bank. And you'd go down there on Monday to try to get one of those signs. The businesses would have them in their windows, and if you were really cool, you had one of the back glass of your pickup or your car. And those were the cool kids during Texas week. It was a different time, and I understand all that. But that was the week where we were all unified as a fan base. Now, this was before talk radio. Obviously, it was before the internet. People talked about the Razorbacks every day, but they did it in coffee shops. They did it in cafes. They did it at school. And again, the discussion back then did not revolve around, hey, should we fire this guy? It was generally revolving around other things. For years, the essence of this rivalry was little old Arkansas against big old Texas. That was the essence of the entire rivalry. It's how it was sold to us as Arkansans. Now, again, things have changed. We don't view ourselves as little old Arkansas the way we once did. We've changed our attitudes. But the one thing that's not changed, Texas was always better funded and well funded and had seemingly all the all the things that a program would want. And that's what made beating them special, because you knew that you'd beaten one of the best programs out there, and you knew that you had beaten a bigger state with more money, with seemingly more opportunity. And, the Razorbacks beat them. And it was such a point of pride in our state. Now, they didn't do it all that often. Texas generally won. It's kind of one of those life lessons. Big generally beats little. It just does. That's just kind of how life works. And it worked that way in that rivalry. But I know there are a lot of people that remember all those things this week. I've thought about them the last 24 hours. I've not thought about this stuff in forever. Even when they played Texas some of these other years, I didn't think about it quite as much. But, hey, I remember beating them in '79 in Little Rock. And I remember 1981 when they were ranked number 1 and Arkansas just ran them off the field. And there were other wins too. But I'm looking forward to the game. Texas is going to be favored. Texas ought to win. But there were a lot of years like that.
Well, it's a Joe Test special. Joe Tessitore on the call. 11 a.m. upset has to be coming. I mean, nobody calls an upset like Joe Tessitore. By the way, have you looked at Texas's resume for the college football playoff?
It's nothing.
It lacks a single top 25 win. Everybody else in the hunt's played, top 25 teams. They got some losses. They got some wins. Texas has one loss. But they don't have a single win against a top 25 team. Chuck, how did the disdain begin? Do you what is the origin of?
Well, it was, the essence of it was, we are a small, poor state, and they are a large, rich state. And and I don't want to delve too deep into the psyche of our state, but, that's always one of the things that's fueled Arkansans, is that, people don't think we're as good as maybe some other places. And I think that went to the heart of the rivalry.
The rhetoric. It's
Absolutely.
The rhetoric from Texas about little old Arkansas.
Well,
and then Frank Broyles latched onto that.
No question.
And he fanned that flame into something special that we now know as the Razorbacks.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, how many people over the years heard Frank Broyles talk about the Razorback miracle? Every Razorback club he went to, particularly in the latter years, that was his speech. He talked about the Razorback miracle. And it always revolved around being a small, poor state. That's what it always revolved around. That was the message. And that, to me, was where a lot of it began. Now, look, the shootout in 1969 is still a game that a lot of people who are old enough to remember will never quite get over. I was 6 years old then. All I remember is Nixon being in the locker room. From it actually happening. And I can remember going back and watching the game years later and thinking, how do we lose that game? I mean, it's 14-0 going into it's like, how do we lose this game? And, of course, Texas obviously came back and, won the game. But you think about this. You think about that football game in Fayetteville that day. You had, you had President Nixon here. Billy Graham was here. You had a future president of the United States, and George H.W. Bush, who was here. Senator Fulbright, obviously from Arkansas. John Connally, who was 6 years removed from surviving John F. Kennedy's assassination in Dallas. You had one game a week on television, and this was the game. There weren't like, I can't wait till this game's over so we can watch Alabama and LSU on ESPN tonight. You had one game. That was it. If you missed it, you missed it. And it was a different era. And I know there are some people, some demographics, as we say in our business, this goes in one ear and out the other. I know that. But I also know that there's a generation of Arkansans who were raised on this rivalry, who were raised on this week, and we judged ourselves, whether it was right or wrong, we judged ourselves on how we stood up to Texas. And now none of that's going to have anything to do with the outcome of the game on Saturday, and I freely admit that. But I know it's going to be running through the minds, and already is running through the minds of a lot of people in our state.
I do believe there's been some carryover, and there's been some explaining, and there is a bit of an understanding with all Arkansas fans about Texas, and quite frankly, Texas makes it easy. Kind of like Drink is making himself easy to not like. After everything that happens good at Missouri, Eli Drinkowitz says something that kind of ruins the moment.
Yeah.
When you just want to pull for him, and we've talked about it, we know him, we like him, all of that stuff. But, man, he just keeps saying things, we'll get into this coming up, that just make you go, well, dang it, I wish you'd have lost.
He makes it hard to root for him.
I mean,
He really does.
they were not dead to rights, but the way they beat Oklahoma, I mean, Oklahoma had
gave
every
them the
chance to
game.
win that game.
They
and then
gave them the game.
Strip sack, fumble, scoop, and score, and Missouri wins again. And they just keep finding ways to win. But Texas keeps finding ways for you not to like them. Like Brian from Ozarks just exhibit A here in the courtroom. I mean, it's not like you have to find and search for reasons not to like Texas. So it is Texas game week. It'll be all week. It's an 11 a.m. game. By the way, we got a text right out of the gate today. Please don't start talking about football in the beginning of the show. Football season's almost over, and we don't have to suffer through this anymore. It's on to basketball season. The Hogs lost by 5 to Baylor. There's so many things to talk about today and this week, and we're going to get into all of them. But this week has always carried something else with it. This rivalry, this distinct, not really even a rivalry. It's more about Arkansas looking at Texas and saying, even though you are blessed with an embarrassment of riches, we can hang with you, and we can sometimes beat you. In fact, we're probably going to do it again this week. That's what people will be thinking by the time we roll around on Friday.
That rivalry was born in an era where our identity, right or wrong, was tied up in being little old Arkansas. And it was just personified out there on the football field. We've moved past that as a state. We have so much to be proud about in our state, so many amenities. Texas does too, obviously. I just spent the weekend there. They still got a lot of stuff down there. But we've moved past a lot of the little old Arkansas stuff. But we still like beating Texas.
Well, it's also just who we are. It's that underdog mentality.
That's right.
And part of that is, I mean, it's your identity. It's our identity in this state. 877-377-6963. Text or call the show. Oh, my gosh, do we have headlines. I mean, sometimes coming out of the weekend, there's just a couple of things to mention. But, I mean, we could talk forever about 15 things.
Oh, we could. You're right.
And by the way, if you thought college football was great a few weeks ago, it's even better now. Did you see what Ole Miss did to Georgia? Does anybody think Georgia's going to be standing at the end now?
Paul Feinbaum said they disemboweled Georgia.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know this.
Kind of hits home.
I know this. Ole Miss was the more physical team. And when did you think you would say that?
Georgia's got offensive issues. They got a quarterback.
They
problem.
got you at receiver.
All those interceptions are beginning to catch up with them. Georgia always had so much talent that they could overcome things like that, and they can't right now.
They got the four of us at receiver.
Well,
I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. There's not a single guy on their starting at receiver that can get open against a good defense. It's the Chuck and Bo Show, 6:14. We're just getting started. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. Yeah, I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast. And always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all. They do it from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Follow us on social media at The Chuck and Bo Show. And watch the video version of the show every day on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And now, Chuck and Bo.
$6:19 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. Glad you're here. Thanks for making us part of your day. The Chiefs just keep winning, man. 9-0, blocking a chip shot field goal that nobody saw coming.
No. The guy kicked it kind of low. He kicked it kind of low, but no, nobody saw that coming. I don't know if they ever figured out who the guy was that blocked it. There were like four guys there. It was, but again, I do think he kicked it kind of low. But Denver should have won that game.
It was.
I mean, it was like over.
Wow.
No, but I mean, that just doesn't happen.
4 of the Chiefs' 9 wins have come on the last play of the game.
We got some magic working here. I mean, we got some witchcraft going on there.
They just figure out ways to win.
I mean, it's
meanwhile,
scary.
The Cowboys do not.
No,
and I wish we had audio of this. We don't. But Jerry Jones stepped in it again after the game.
What did he say?
So apparently, well, not apparently, you see the sun issue that comes through the beautiful glass there in the end zone at AT&T Stadium. And a frustrated Jerry Jones had some comments about the sun impacting play at his stadium. There was one ball in particular that's made its way around the internet that the receivers could not see, and it would have been a touchdown. And so people are asking about it. And Jerry says, by the way, we know where the sun is going to be when we decide to flip the coin or not. We do know where the damn sun is going to be in our own stadium. Why not put up curtains over the windows, Jerry? Well, let's tear down the stadium and build another one. Are you kidding me? Everybody has got the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issues. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that. You get to know that almost a year in advance. Someone asked me about the sun. What about the sun? Where's the moon?
In fairness, Jerry gets blamed for everything. I mean, he does. Anything that goes wrong, it's such a simple-minded approach. Anything that goes wrong is Jerry's fault. It's kind of like our approach to everything else. Team loses, fire the head coach. It's just such a simplistic approach. Now, I think Jerry, there's some things going on right now that are going to have to be corrected down there. I will certainly concede that. But the guy gets blamed for any bad thing that happens.
Let me I have a follow-up.
All right,
that's your takeaway from Jerry talking about the sun and the moon?
Yeah, that's my take. Yes, that's my takeaway.
He built the stadium, though, Chuck. He built it east-west.
No, what I'm saying is, guys, they've been playing there for a long time. I mean, this idea that all of a sudden the sun problems appeared. I mean, Jerry's right in what he says. He's an 82-year-old man, and you guys love picking on him because he's 82.
Wait a
second. Someday you'll be 82, and it won't be so damn funny then.
I think it still will be, just to somebody else.
Just to somebody. Fair enough.
I don't care if you're 25 or 82. When you start talking about everybody knows
where the
sun
why
is.
the Cowboys lost yesterday. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just looking at Jerry's quotes and laughing at them because the quotes are hilarious.
Well, in context, they are.
Well, let's tear the damn stadium down.
Jerry needs to stop doing all that.
Every team that comes in here has the same issues, but what's really good is where he doubles down on clarifying what he's saying. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. Well, let's let that wash over you for a second.
Well, it's objectively
Someone asked me about the sun. What about the sun? Where's the moon?
I mean,
where's he going with that? Where's the moon?
He's going where 82-year-old guys go, down a rabbit hole with no end in sight.
With no exit ramp.
That's just how it works
no
in
exit
life.
ramp.
They need to stop him from doing all that post-game stuff. And I will say this, this is one of those times when you understand why people sometimes hate the media, because those guys, they are looking for that. That's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And you guys know this. You know how the game works. When Jerry said what he said, it's like touchdown Arkansas for those guys. I mean, that's what they go for. And unfortunately, Jerry's at the age now where he freely gives it to them without even realizing it. and that's what makes for quotes like that.
Poor
And
Jerry.
you know that's true.
I mean, everything you said
they're fishing,
about him.
they're fishing for all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and everything
and
you said
know
about
it.
him getting blamed is true. He gets overblamed, but he does heap it a lot of it on himself.
There's no doubt.
And he keeps grabbing the microphone.
I know he does.
Making it worse.
I know he does.
And I never thought, 30 years ago, I thought to myself,
He can't help himself.
I had this thought that maybe Jerry was going to be Al Davis 30 years later. And I hope that he wouldn't be. Because I like Jerry. But Jerry, and he's not quite Al Davis, but it's dang close.
He's lost his filter.
It's
Let's
dang
just
close
be
to Al
honest.
Davis.
He's lost his filter. And Al Davis lost his filter at the end.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what's happened. But he's still, I mean, to a lot of people, when you're a Jerry Jones type, you're not a human being anymore. You're just you're just a figure out there. And all the things that apply to everybody else as they age shouldn't apply to you. And but now, Jerry, you're right. I mean, Jerry does not help himself at all.
Yeah, his quarterback's out.
And
Gave
his
him more
team's
money
horrible.
than anybody in the history of history. Dak Prescott not playing, just cashing that check. And now people are complaining about the sun coming in the windows. I mean, you built that monstrosity of a stadium, and wow, we got a sun issue. Can we get some blinds? What's the cost? What's the cost for some blinds on the AT&T Stadium? Can we get that done? We all know where the sun is a year in advance. Can you imagine, like, prepping for the Cowboys game? Hey, guys, look, here's the sun this year at this time. Here's the coin toss. Let's do this. By the way, somebody needs to tell Jerry you don't get to control the coin toss. You might lose. And the other team might take the direction you want at a particular time of the day. I mean, the whole thing's just absurd.
Hey, let me ask you something. You watch a Major League Baseball game in the afternoon and a guy loses the ball in the sun and his team loses. Do they ask the owner why he doesn't dome the stadium? I mean, of course not.
Well, I did think of that. But I also thought about if you're going to control the elements inside, maybe don't have a peephole. Right in the end zone when you're trying to catch the ball.
That's not why they lost.
They
lost
I'm
because
trying to help you out here.
Cooper Rush and Trey Lance are they're not.
What are the answers for the Cowboys?
There aren't any. There aren't any. There are no
Clean
answers.
house.
No, it's not even cleaning house. It's they're so far gone right now. You could fire everybody in the organization, and the time that it would take to build it back up is going to be pretty lengthy. And I love them.
I think maybe
I
CD
like all
Lamb.
those people who are involved in that. I'm happy for them. Every time I go down there, I'm happy that there's so many Arkansans involved in what's going on in Dallas. But that team's not any good, and they got a long way to go before they will be.
I think CD Lamb maybe mentioned that the sun got.
Well, CD Lamb needs to play for somebody besides CD Lamb.
Well, that's the rest of the team too.
Let's let's just go there.
Yeah.
Let's just go. How many blocks did you miss, CD? How many times you dog it out there? What were you doing while you were holding out? And you're going to talk to me about the sun got in your eyes? Give me a break.
How about them Cowboys? Have fallen apart internally, externally.
CD.
There's a ray of sunshine, but it was in the eyes of the receiver. Oh, we're all having fun at the Cowboys' expense.
Hey, we could have
today.
been on that Auburn plane, boys.
Oh, horseplay.
Let's just get on an airplane, get this
Horseplay.
settled.
Horseplay turned into more than horseplay. 45 minutes is quite a bit out of the vicinity of the airport. And they turned around and came back? They were fighting on the airplane. So
It's
then, of
pretty
course,
close quarters in there too. These are big dudes. It's not like a couple of Joe Schmoes
right,
getting in a
and
little
it's not
scuffle
some
in the back
big
of the
plane.
plane.
No, these planes are like
these
the regional
dudes fight
jets.
for keeps. These are 50-passenger planes.
I just want to know the rest of the story. So, like, what happened after they landed? Did they go to the principal's office? Did they have to stand in a corner, then get back on the plane later that day? Where did they play? Houston. They fly to Houston and then beat Houston, one of the best teams in college basketball. This whole thing's just,
Auburn's good.
What?
You think Bruce Pearl ripped his shirt off and went to the back of the plane?
I'd like to know
broke it all up.
That's not something you see.
From what I read, they were arguing about. I think a guy who maybe had not been there long enough to claim a window seat claimed a window seat. That's kind of the scuttlebutt that I've heard. A veteran player wanted a better player, a veteran player. Somebody wanted that window seat. That's what I was told. I don't know exactly if that's true.
Oh, that's good. That's really, really good.
It was something petty. It was something
Well,
petty.
I was going with the guy in front of him leaned his seat back, and he got.
I'm sure that had
needed
something
a
to
small
do
in
with
the
it.
back.
I'm sure that had
Classic
something to do
Chuck
with it.
Barrett move. By the way, people are returning their shopping carts all over the place.
I know they are.
Chuck's rules to live by have come to fruition. It's changing lives. It's making our place a better place to live. Our area is a better place because of Chuck's rules to live by.
That's right.
Which are?
Put your shopping cart back. Don't lean your airplane seat back, particularly when you're in coach. And what sparked all this, of course, was The Price is Right. And, you got to like The Price is Right.
Like The Price is Right.
That's a rule that that comes and goes.
Yeah,
but
it's just like if you hate The Price is Right, it's probably a you problem.
Well, right, yeah, but the shopping cart
dead
thing
giveaway.
really is a big deal to me. I'm not going to lie to you; it's a big deal to me. I judge people based on that.
All right, what happened to the Razorback basketball team? Lost by 5 against Baylor in Dallas. We'll talk about it next at 6:30 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but name one Razorback. Number one.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank y'all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank y'all.
This, showed me some good stuff. We got a lot of work to do. I still think my team's pretty good. Make a shot.
happen
around
one a
it,
day.
you can like literally see your heartbeat ripple. You know, after you drink one of these energy drinks, I mean, you walk in, it's like, God, what's going on with Bo?
Depending on how tight your shirt is.
I know, yeah.
But it's how
Well,
fast
you
my
like
lips
to wear,
start
well,
moving.
normally you wear those T-shirts.
I'm talking
that are
really
like
fast.
A couple of sizes too small.
Oh, yeah.
And you can, you can see
Yeah.
those ripples through there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm manhandling those CrossFit
you
workouts
are,
now.
Man, you are.
Yeah.
That's no question.
Throwing tires over my shoulder. I pushed a vehicle yesterday just for fun.
Yeah.
I feel great.
Up the hill
Up
in your
the
driveway.
hill, yeah.
Up the incline.
The only problem with that is when you get to the top, you got to have somebody put the brakes on, or it's going to roll right back over you.
Sometimes
So
you just let it roll back down so you can do it again.
For those of you that are thinking about doing it, you need an exit plan. Sweat No Edge. Check it out. The Sweat No Edge at sweatnomcosmetic.com. Look, feel better. Like you don't have to have low energy. You don't have to lose all your hair if you don't want to. Stubborn, weight, all that kind of stuff. As you get a little bit older, and you don't even have to be old. I mean, some people can have testosterone issues at a young age. It's not an embarrassing thing. It's just a fact of life. But get checked out, know what you're dealing with, and see what the game plan is. See if you want to execute it. That's up to you, but it's a free evaluation. The Sweat No Edge at sweatnomcosmetic.com. Just click on the Sweat No Edge. 877-377-6963. I've never heard of this. I'm sure it's happened. And if I dig deep enough, maybe I have heard of it. I just can't remember hearing of a SEC basketball team taking off on a road trip, and the story that comes out uses the word horseplay. But players are fighting on the plane, the Auburn plane. They have to bring the plane back. And, of course, we have audio of the pilot.
That's
Cal.
Cal, the pilot.
Cal was the pilot.
Here we go.
Yes, sir. We have got an altercation on board. We knocked to declare an emergency and land. We got a bunch of basketball players fighting. The flight deck is secure. The threat level is contained for the moment. We just had police on the ground, and we had two players that got into physical altercation. Clothes were ripped, and one bloody player. And Center 2681, it's kind of crazy. Were we direct Montgomery?
See, they were going to make an emergency landing in Montgomery.
Oh, my God.
And that's why this 45 minutes thing doesn't add up to me, because Montgomery flight time from Auburn's about 10 minutes. And maybe they were going to come back and land in Montgomery. I don't know. But now listen, the pilot said we got a bunch of basketball players fighting. And then 15 seconds later, he said we got two players. So there's a big difference between a bunch of players fighting and two players. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not minimizing what happened.
Well, it's different.
I've never heard of this happening before. I've been on planes where guys got into arguments, but I've never seen a situation where you had something like this happen. But he did make it sound like it was just pandemonium in the air. And I have a hard time believing it was quite like that.
Well, here's the thing. Like, most of the time, the head coach is in control of his team, and he can make whatever decision he wants to. When you get into an airplane, you're with the FAA, and now this is above your head.
Most of them
like,
have
you're
a
not
flight
making
marshal.
the call.
Most of them you fly. Most charters, you have a flight marshal.
You're not making. We have police on the ground. Like, these guys are going to see the cops when they get back.
Right.
This is not an internal deal. Like, you have violated FAA regulations.
That's a very good point, and I think most people don't understand. Like, now look, the vast majority of people listening to the show don't have their own planes. I get that, but when you fly in a small plane, when you fly in a personal plane, you know, obviously, well, what I mean is you don't have staff.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
it's not.
The use of personal instead of private was fitting, and I appreciated it.
But my point is that those situations are different than like when you're on a team charter. When you're on a plane, the rules still apply. It's not like the old days, pre-9/11, where you just hop off the bus, hop on the plane. I mean, you still go through security. You do lots of things that you still have to do. It seems kind of silly, but you still have to do them. But you're right. When you step on one of those planes, it's not yours. You are under the same regulations that a lot of people are when they get on planes, fly commercial.
You didn't have any even inkling of that happening on your way to Dallas with the Arkansas men's basketball team.
I did not get the sense that was going to happen.
It's a little more.
I think the team
professional decorum.
Yeah, I mean, there were some flight issues over the weekend, but it wasn't that.
Okay, so how was the trip? What happened? Tell me about the trip.
Well, I mean, it was a decent trip. Stayed in a nice place, nice arena. Saw the Mavericks Friday night.
Did you have a good meal or you went to the game?
I went to the basketball game Friday night. I watched the Suns and the Mavericks play. That was a good game.
Were you courtside?
No, I was not courtside. The Mavericks kind of got hosed there at the end, but Phoenix won the game by 1. And then, again, it's people have seen this with AT&T Stadium when they go watch the Hogs and then the Cowboys the next day. It's like you're not even in the same building. Arkansas plays Baylor in the building Saturday night. It's like you're not even in the same place.
Didn't look like it on TV.
Floors changed out, all the digital ribbon board, the colors, everything's changed within the building. And I was thinking that when I was watching the Mavericks game because it was, as soon as the game was over, they started flipping things around and getting it ready for the basketball game because Arkansas had their shoot-around Saturday it was before noon. And they already had the floor changed out and everything ready to go then. So they did a lot of overnight work there.
Hogs never led. They lost by 5. Ended up being tight down the stretch. Really just couldn't make enough shots. And in the first half, really struggled from 3. And
Baylor's zone was good.
They kept they stayed in a zone like almost the entire game.
I think it was the entire game. I don't recall them being man even once.
And Arkansas just couldn't make them pay. Here's Cal.
This, showed me some good stuff. We got a lot of work to do. I still think my team's pretty good. Got to make a shot or two. You don't have to make them all. You just can't miss them all. And we got to make our share. And we got good shooters. We really do. So work to do, but we'll see.
Hogs 0 of 9 from three-point range to start the game. 2 of 12 in the first half.
Yeah, they settled, is a word that comes to mind. It's tough attacking a zone. The times when they were good, they'd get the ball to the baseline. They're in the short corner, and everything worked from there. Sometimes you get a 3 out of that. Hopefully you just get a shot at the rim. They attacked it well sometimes, but they settled for 3s early. And, look, I got no problem with teams shooting a lot of 3s, but you got to do it within the framework of your offense. You got to do it within rhythm. And I thought there were points – in fact, there were more than a few points, particularly early, where I thought they were out of rhythm. Got better as the game went on.
Scott Drew, some comments about the similarities between Arkansas and Baylor and what they're both dealing with.
Us and Arkansas, 2 peas in a pod, meaning you got a lot of talented players. It's kind of like back in the day with the Olympics when you'd put all-star game teams together, and it was a lot harder to win rather than teams that played years together. And I think Arkansas and us just improve each and every day, and we're at the best in February and not right now.
Gonzaga looks lights out. They have 6 or 7 of their top returning scorers from last year. How many people can you say that in college basketball about right now? We've talked about this with football a little bit, where it's going to take teams now midway through the season to really come together, maybe play their best, because you've got so many guys coming out of the transfer portal and you have a different looking roster. What Baylor and Arkansas are both dealing with, even though they have great players, they're still learning how to play together. Arkansas has had a lot of guys hurt and haven't been able to really do a lot of that throughout all of practice in the preseason like they would have preferred to do. So they may even be a little bit more stunted in their growth or how long it takes to really get together. But when you get a team like Baylor that has great players and they get a bunch of guys back, or Gonzaga, a bunch of guys back, it's going to be impactful.
Well, I hate to dismiss all the stuff that's happening right now, but hey, you can go broke betting on a basketball season if you base it on November. It's really hard to get a feel for what everybody's going to be like in February and March, in November. When you talk about working on things, we tend to focus on the offense and scoring and things like that, but it's things like defending the pick and roll. That was an issue Saturday. It's not just Arkansas; it's all these teams out there. There are all these things that that you've got to become good at during the course of the season, and the idea that you're going to be able to be the finished product in November is kind of far-fetched. And look, there's no question that a bad loss in November and December can come back to haunt you. And sometimes there's too much emphasis placed on bad losses in November and not enough placed on good wins in November. And I think that's one of the traps the selection committee falls into when we get to March. But I'm not real alarmed by what happened.
No, I like that
Saturday
they're
night.
playing these games. I like that they played Kansas, TCU on the road. I like that they went and played Baylor early in the season.
I like
here.
they played Lipscomb.
I mean, for this kind of team in particular, you got to have that. You got to have that now. And I don't think people realize when you play in the SEC, and I'm not comparing it to other conferences. I'm just saying when you play in the SEC, I've seen this so many times, Chuck. It's really about preparing yourself to play in this league. Even if there aren't a bunch of ranked teams, it's just different. I mean, people know who you are. They've got film on you. I mean, these games at the beginning of the season are really about trying to get to where you can go navigate that schedule, the grind of that schedule, and then come out on the other side of it ready to really play well in the postseason. I mean, it sounds obvious. But I don't really get all caught up in because let's just say you won them all. You won the exhibition game at TCU. You won on Saturday, which could have happened. It really doesn't mean any more. It doesn't mean any more than losing that game in terms of where you're headed this season, at least not in my estimation. Now, there are some things that have popped up, like you're going to have to shoot better. And they know that, and I think they expect to.
Oh, they will.
And that's part of the overall system and coming together and all that stuff. 6:47, it's Monday morning. Lot to react to. 877-377-6963. It was just a wild weekend, including an AD absolutely burying an officiating crew. That's coming up as well.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere. Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians, backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special. We have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Would you be caught alive in Hey Dudes?
Hey Dudes are real shoes. I don't know that Crocs always are.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We talk about the stupidest stuff on the show sometimes.
You have to.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's just part of waking up.
Gentle Ben's on the line. Gentle Ben, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, thanks for the privilege. Always fun listening to y'all. It's a blast this morning. Been a blast.
Thank you.
Just wanted to mention to y'all how big the Arkansas-Texas game is to us old folks that are 73 or older, around my age. And that is, I was 13 years old whenever we won the national championship in '64, and we almost won it again in '65, like in a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And anyway, but I'm just saying that from the late 50s to the early 70s, the reason the Texas game means so much to people in Arkansas, especially us experienced folks, old guys, and that is it was whoever won the Arkansas-Texas game during that, 12 or 15-year period, that we knew that whoever won the Arkansas-Texas game in about game 4 or 5 in the regular season, where we played 10 games or 12, it would be whoever won it had the chance of winning the national championship and being ranked high and, maybe playing for the national championship at the end of the season in the bowl game or whatever. And that's why the Texas game always meant so much to Razorback fans, because anything we did in football, that it all just depended on whether we beat Texas or not.
You're right, and that did have a lot to do with our psyche then. And I don't think we have to go very far back to really realize how it can cloud your judgment. I mean, when you beat Texas, you feel like you've had a great year. That's our history. Well, they beat Texas in that bowl game down there in Houston, went 7-6, gave Bielema a new contract, and it all went to hell after that. So lots of times when Arkansas beat Texas, Arkansas was not in contention for the national championship. Texas was, and Arkansas ruined it for them.
When you can take something away.
That's right.
That's
right.
A hated
in some
opponent.
years, that's what we were. I hate to use the term reduced, but that's just the reality. Lots of times when Arkansas beat Texas, they did not have championship seasons. They just ruined Texas's year.
You got a chance to beat, how much of a chance, I don't know, but by the numbers, if you beat Texas, that's a second top 10 win for a program that people didn't expect a lot from.
That's right.
This year. So you got a chance to take something away from them, but also a nice feather in your cap. Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo victory. They don't bleed hot red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Gail, we got spring weddings coming up.
A lot of brides are planning their weddings for spring, and Rainwater's is ready to get them all set up, match up your colors, make all your guys look good. Come to Rainwater's, you get to try it on immediately, and you know that it fits, and we'll take care of you.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a bounty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the middle to upper 60s. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, and overnight low will drop down into the low 40s. Tuesday, sunny skies. The high will be in the low 60s north, upper 60s south. And then Wednesday, a chance of a few showers, highs near 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 Original Bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Some days you hit snooze.
But not today. Today, you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage. My friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I got a good recommendation from a friend. You go to your Google reviews right now, you guys are at 4.9 for First Financial Mortgage.
Yeah, we've got the most Google reviews by any lending company in the River Valley by more than double. We really pride ourselves on those Google reviews, try to make everyone's experience really well, and that way they'll refer us to other people. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Did you ever have your mouth washed out with soap?
I absolutely did, yes. I actually.
What was your favorite brand of soap?
Well, I don't remember the favorite brand, but I mean, back in those days, back when you had real parents, they made you wash your own mouth.
Back when you had real parents,
you know.
not like Bo.
Not like these parents that, give you juice during halftime and make sure that everybody's, never makes their kids drink out of the garden hose.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Yeah, it was disappointing that Arkansas didn't beat Baylor, but certainly not an indication, I don't think, of the kind of season they're going to have. But Cal's been telling everybody, hey, man, you're going to have to just let this thing come together a little bit. And then you play a really good team, and you lose by 5, and you didn't shoot particularly well from 3, which is a little bit of a trend. But I expect Arkansas to come out and play well against Troy on Wednesday night. Bud Walton, wonder what kind of crowd there'll be a Wednesday night.
I don't know. I was disappointed's not the word. Surprised is the word.
I think it'll be better than it was
that
last
maybe
Wednesday.
It wasn't all that great, when they played Lipscomb. Here's the thing, and we've talked about this in football, is that there are so many marquee games out there. Teams are always playing marquee games. Saturday night was a marquee game. That's the kind of game you watch. Auburn and Houston, early season marquee game, kind of game you watch. Sometimes you play a non-conference opponent that's not a name opponent, and all of a sudden it's football season again. And, that's where everybody's focus is.
It was totally weird watching a Razorback basketball game on one TV and trying to watch other football games.
I know.
At the same time. You're like, wow, Arkansas is not playing football today. They're playing basketball, but we got these really good games. By the way, how about LSU just getting boat raced by Alabama?
But now here's the deal. LSU's going to miss the playoff, but it's not because they lost to Alabama. It's because they lost to USC. That's why they're going to miss the playoff. 2 years in a row, LSU's played one of these, I call them jamboree games. one of these early games, one of these marquee TV games. And here's the thing. If you lose that game, you're screwed. And it's happened to LSU 2 years in a row. Everybody's saying, LSU's lost 3 times. Well, if they'd beaten LSU or if they'd beaten USC, that would be their second loss. And it'd be a bad loss, but it'd be a loss they could recover from and still make the playoff. If you're going to schedule these marquee games on Labor Day weekend, you better win them. Because if you don't, you're in trouble. And it's happened to LSU 2 years in a row.
It's the opposite of basketball.
It is. You're right. Those early season games in football matter a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, when you lose that game, you say, oh, it's early, we'll get better. Well, yeah, you probably will. But that loss is still going to be on your ledger, and it is going to haunt you before it's over.
So some things have changed over the weekend. You know, Ole Miss is clearly in the thick of it with their impressive win.
Right now, they're the best team in the league.
28-10 over Georgia, just like that. You know what we ended up getting in Arkansas, what you saw, was Ole Miss flip the switch. Like they came in, they had figured some things out, and they flipped the switch. And they looked every bit as good, if not better, than they did against Arkansas.
But now we got to remember, there have been points where other teams looked to be the best team in the league too. There was a point where Texas A&M, we thought they might be the best team in the league. Georgia, we just assumed they were.
Correct, 100%. Although Ole Miss is that team that has been lurking all season. Like you thought they were good when the season started.
You're right.
They were supposed to be good. And we couldn't quite figure out, like they're not bad, but they're not good either. And it's like something has come together for them. And it could have gone the other way. It could have been like, hey, people, you know, let go of the rope and all that kind of stuff. Didn't happen. But look, the point is it could change every week. Like we're sitting here talking about Ole Miss today. Who are we going to be talking about next week? Is it going to be Texas lost to Arkansas? Is it going to be Texas rolled over Arkansas? By the way, that'll change how we talk about Arkansas. Week to week, right? You didn't expect them to beat Tennessee. These rivalry games are just played different. I'll go to the NFL. The Broncos, you should have expected the Broncos to play the Chiefs well. It's just what happens. No matter what their record is. Just what happens most of the time.
One thing you got to remember in college football right now, the playoffs have already started. Now, it may not be the playoff, but the playoffs have already started. You think that wasn't a playoff game Saturday night? Of course it was. And there's going to be playoff games from now to the end of the month. And then when the month is over, there's going to be 12 that they decide to put into the bracket. But for a lot of teams right now, it's Elimination Saturday already.
What's the line in the game, by the way? Oaklawn Sports, what's the line on the Arkansas-Texas game? My point on this, okay, 15 and a half.
That was the voice of Edward.
Yeah,
Bart's been suspiciously quiet.
Well, Bart's 1-2 off a lock weekend.
Bart went 1-2.
Again. Back-to-back, 1-2.
See,
Bart's
that's a trend. That's a trend now.
2-4 over the last 2
It's not an aberration anymore.
we're
a trend.
We're going to have to.
What happened?
Fix it. Well, Oklahoma happened.
A lot of people can't make rent this month because of you. You know that, don't you?
Right.
Wow.
Well, they're going to make. So they need a good week, is what Chuck's saying.
Yeah, Oklahoma happened. Just if you had OU -3, like we did.
Not me.
Bart says he's got a whole team of people.
Yeah.
He's got a whole gaggle of clients.
If you had OU -3, you were on the right side the entire game until the very end.
Until it mattered.
That's how sports works.
When OU just threw up
I was
all
rich
over
until
themselves.
I pulled into the drive-through at the bank.
That's right.
OU is on the list now. They're on the banned list. They will not be appearing in locks ever again.
You're off of them forever.
Forever.
How do you fumble on that play?
I don't know. Ask Jackson Arnold.
I mean, how do you let that happen?
Ask Brent Venables why he doesn't have an offense at all.
Well, they have trouble.
Why that team was that program?
Are they the worst team in the league? Are they the worst team in the league?
Mississippi State's still
You know what I'm saying right now? You know
Are
what
you
I'm
sure?
saying?
But I think.
Are you sure?
I think if they played right now,
First team to 17 wins.
if they played right now, I'm not sure I wouldn't take Mississippi
This
State.
is playing out live right in front of us. So this is a great example of how you go from maybe caring a little to passionately angry
That's right.
I'm not angry.
when you bet money on the game.
I'm not angry.
You hear but no, there's a distinct difference between how you
Disdain.
feel about Oklahoma fumbling on that play when you bet money on the game.
Well,
I mean,
sure.
it's obvious, but this is the emotional part
Yeah, it makes
that
it more
takes
fun.
over.
So I guess we're supposed to say, since field goals are very seldom blocked in the NFL, it was a fluke. Kansas City really lost that game.
Hey.
I mean, the point is you can be on the winning side until the very end.
That for sure.
And all of a sudden your money's gone.
I'll tell you.
Maybe it's a Missouri thing. I mean, look at what's happening with Mizzou. They just keep finding ways to win. And the Chiefs. And then Drink keeps finding ways to upset people.
I'm going to say something, and this might be controversial to
Please
some
say
fans.
Here we go.
Anytime anybody has
Razorback
something, Chuck's like,
fans.
please do. Please say something dramatic or controversial
if you
fire lighting.
If you said Arkansas was only going to win one of the Texas or Missouri game, they were definitely going to win one, but it was just either Texas or Missouri. I almost hope they beat Missouri.
Almost. What do you mean almost?
They beat Texas.
You're saying
he doesn't like Drink.
Yeah, so Drink is doing a good job of fueling the rivalry, at least for you. Like I know it's not really a rivalry, but
and I'm sorry, I know he has a lot of friends who are in this state, and a lot of people.
Let's listen to what he said after the win against Oklahoma on a very fortunate situation for them. That like they're in trouble, and they've been in trouble a bunch this year. But again, they keep finding ways to win. Oklahoma fumbles, they scoop and score, they win the game. Here's Drink on the field, post-game interview with the TV sideline reporter.
What does this do for your football team moving forward? I know you know about your team, you know about their demeanor. What does this do for you moving forward from now?
It gives us another win, keeps us in the playoff hunt. That's right, I said it, playoff hunt.
Thanks.
M-I-Z.
Thanks.
You're not in the playoff hunt. You have never been in the playoff hunt.
What about talking trash to Bob Stoops?
You don't have a single win of note.
I mean, for Eli.
And you don't have an opportunity to get one.
Look.
Shut up!
You can fall into traps with Drinkwitz because the guy obviously keeps receipts. But I'm not sure Eli Drinkwitz is quite in Bob Stoops' ballpark yet.
Here we go. Back to this is Eli after the game at the podium.
Yeah, this will be real disappointing to Bob Stoops, but OU doesn't always whip Missouri's ass anymore. So with that, I'll open up for questions. Felt pretty good. I thought Coach Stoops did a nice job stirring it up this summer. And I thought their coaches did some stuff this summer that felt like they stirred it up a little bit with some tweets and different things. So
that only Eli noticed.
Yeah,
that only Eli Drinkwitz noticed.
Insufferable,
the chances of him mentioning our show in the post-game press conference if Missouri wins are like 75%. If they win, it's like 75% that we get mentioned in the post-game press conference. I know Chuck and Bo said.
Well, Bart
said he wanted to win this game.
Bart said it a little bit.
He didn't even
early.
care. It didn't matter who you are.
Well,
he can make up a random name.
He's going to quote
from
that one guy on that radio show in Arkansas. I don't even know his name, but he said I was insufferable.
He'll mention him by name.
And you're right.
That's how
you're
he
right.
does.
I did. You're acting
That's
insufferable.
how he does.
Hey, when you win, you get to say things.
Yeah,
And
but
when
you
you
don't
lose,
have to.
When you
Just
lose,
because you get to doesn't mean you have to.
Right. Well, that would be the category of the AD that he falls under from Utah.
Ooh, boy, he stepped in.
So the Holy War happened, and Utah had
They didn't feel
BYU
very
beat.
Christian-like when it was over. It didn't sound like.
No. And I'll tell you what else happened. Apparently holding on a receiver. And BYU was kept alive by a holding call. They went down the field, ended up kicking a game-winning field goal. Utah lost the game. I have never heard an AD do this after a game. But the AD, obviously emotional, came out and unprompted, didn't have a scheduled press conference. He went into where the press conference happens for the players and coaches. And he took over. And here's what he said.
This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight.
Wow. Got that off his chest and $40,000 out of his wallet.
Yeah, $40,000 later, the call still stood.
It's funny, and he knows, and he's letting his emotions get the best of him. He came out and apologized later after, the Big 12 said he's getting fined and you can't do this. And so it's like sitting $40,000 down on a table and speaking for 20 seconds. Like, does that work? Like, here's 40 grand. I'm going to say my piece. That's literally what he did. Okay, but here's my thing. I'm going to give you a little bit of a twist on this. Why can't we criticize officials? Why can't we criticize officials? We can criticize a 19-year-old special teams player. We can criticize any coach. We can criticize seemingly anyone involved with college athletics. Commissioners, we can criticize, our own bosses. We can rip kids that like maybe not even getting paid, maybe not even getting an NIL deal. But we can't talk about the officials who have more control than anybody.
Oh, we can
They're in
talk
charge.
about them. We can talk about them. We don't get fined when we talk about them.
I'm talking about people that talk in press conferences.
I understand.
They can't. Like, why not?
I think this is spot on, Bo. And the reason I like this take is because of the total lack of transparency in officiating. And if you're not going to be transparent with the process and what's happening and all that, then, yeah, you should be
Wait,
able to
whoa. The call was the right call. It didn't have anything to do with the
I'm-
play, but it was the right call.
I'm not talking about this specific example.
I mean, what's there to criticize?
I'm talking about Bo's point about why
Oh.
can't coaches criticize officials?
Well,
I'm saying
because the
they should be
majority
able
of the
to.
time, whether we want to admit it or not, the majority of the time they get it right. The majority of the time they do. It doesn't mean always. It doesn't mean I agree with you. You should be able to criticize them without being fined, but you should not be able to pound the table and say it was stolen from us. That game was not stolen from the University of Utah. It was not stolen from them. You can't get up there and say that stuff and not get fined. Yes, you can criticize them, but if you're going to criticize them, you do have an obligation to be correct.
He went a little beyond criticizing.
Well, and plus he was
officials.
wrong. Plus he was wrong.
He took the whole Big 12 on.
This game was absolutely stolen from us.
That's an accusation. The game was stolen.
We were excited about being in Big 12, but tonight I am not.
Well, then get the hell out. Who cares?
We won this game.
We won. He did not win the game. You did not win the game.
Someone else stole it from us.
It sounds like such a victim.
I mean, come on.
It's so pathetically sad.
Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner.
Hey, let's not act
fair
like
to our team.
Not fair. Hold on.
Disgusted by the professionalism.
I'm disgusted by that.
The officiating.
But you mean lack of professionalism?
You know what I'd have been disgusted by if I was a Utah fan? The fact that was not the last play of the game and the fact that they had plenty of chances to stop them over the course of that
That's
drive. And again, I don't like it when they make calls away from the play that don't have anything to do with the play. I don't like that. And that is what happened here. It is what happened. I
don't know. That quarterback was looking right at that receiver.
Yeah, but he was he was, they were coming after him.
Right.
And that play failed because of a protection issue. But they did get the call right. It was a hold. And that's not why Utah lost. And so I think the guy deserved the fine.
I just think this whole idea of criticizing officials, like if a coach wants to get up there, he doesn't need to call anybody out by name. But if he wants to get up there and say, I wasn't happy with the officiating tonight, let's get rid of these fines
I
for that
agree
kind
with
of stuff.
that. I'm fully in
just
agreement
dumb.
with that.
Because then you can't tell your fans how you feel.
That's completely fair. That's completely
7:19, it's the Chuck and Bo Show on a Monday. Glad you're here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattler Gate.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. And that's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
Just thinking, what is a Pirate's favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
This is Northside head football coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Our brand new Barling location is now open at 942 Fort Street. Get these red-hot buys at all 5 locations. A 230-piece Craftsman Versa Stack Mechanics tool set, only $99. Milwaukee Select M12 and M18 tools and batteries, also $99. And Ace Reward members get super instant savings on select DeWalt and Craftsman tools and accessories. Find more everyday low prices online at JagersHardware.com.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Listen to the Chuck and Bo Show on demand, anywhere, anytime, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for the Chuck and Bo Show. And now, Chuck and Bo.
That guy sounds like he got into some, I don't know, like Babel training again. I don't.
The AI guy had a big weekend, man.
What's going on?
He partied a little
what's
too
with the
much.
inflection? And it doesn't even sound like the same guy.
Yeah. Well,
Edward's messing around with the AI guy.
Yeah.
Trying some different things. I don't know what to think of that.
You said you didn't want to plug the podcast yourself on the show.
No, I'm happy to. I'm happy that we have some of that in there so people can be reminded. I'm just not sure who the guy was doing the reading.
It's the same guy who does all these.
Let's go with energetic AI guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's get energetic AI guy
like,
next time.
It's Demi Moore's birthday. She's 62.
Wow.
Chuck Mattingly, Bo Barrett. It's National Sunday Day.
He's got to work on his grammar, too.
Veterans Day.
Veterans
Day.
Is it?
Thank all our veterans.
It's officially Veterans Day.
It is officially Veterans Day, so don't go to the bank.
That's right.
It'll be closed.
That's right.
By the way, Florida update.
Florida
men's basketball coach Todd Golden, who is the subject of an ongoing school inquiry for Title IX accusations and violations. Internet stalking, Instagram stalking, in-person stalking, accusations. He's still going to coach tonight. He's going to be on the sideline. Accusations came forth September 27th. He made a statement the other day that said, he's basically had to remain quiet. But I think he indicated that he wants to be able to defend himself. But at this time, he's unable to say anything.
Well, he's threatened a defamation lawsuit against the accusers. And I'm sure the University of Florida right now is just shaking in their boots from a legal standpoint of what are we going to do here? Because I mean, this is this is where the lawyers get involved, and that's why I'm sure he's being allowed to coach tonight.
So a Title IX complaint showed the university is investigating Golden for allegations of sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, stalking, and cyber stalking from multiple women.
Now, some of the accusations I've read are, it's as serious as it gets. And so...
but they're only accusations.
They are accusations. You're right.
But you can't unring that bell either.
No, you cannot. I don't know if it's true or not. I know what he's been accused of is pretty bad. Yeah. And if he's guilty, he's done. If he's not, then he should have the opportunity to clear his name.
That'd be difficult, though.
It's going to be very hard for him to do that. But again, if all these things are true, and I have a hard time believing some of them aren't, it's going to be very difficult for him.
Florida State, meanwhile, fired their offensive and defensive coordinators and wide receivers coach. They're 1-9. Mike Norvell 1-9. And I just laughed when I saw this story because it's not their fault. Is it the offensive and defensive coordinators' fault that they're 1-9? They're in shambles as a program at the top, basically because they picked the wrong quarterback, at least one big thing. They picked the wrong quarterback.
Unless those three guys said, no, Coach Norvell, we've got to get DJU. We need to spend all of our NIL money on getting DJU. Unless they were the ones that lobbied for DJU to be their quarterback, it's not their fault. Norvell made the decision to go after a quarterback that he should have known was a shell of the guy they had before. He'd not had success at any of the places he'd been, but because coaches are what they are, they think, I can make him great. I can make him great. Well, he got you fired.
Mercy firings.
That's basically what they're not going to fire him. Right. They're just going to fire the whole staff.
So they just fire somebody else.
That's right.
That's what you do. Like
they're less expensive fires.
It's so obvious. Like you do it to pretend that you're doing something because you can't fire the head coach. So you start firing coordinators. So they take the hit. It's the opposite of what should happen. Like the leader at the top's supposed to take the hit. But no, he's got the huge contract with the huge buyout. So the guys who aren't at the top and who don't have the huge buyout and the huge contract, they take the hit. I know it's just the way it works, but it doesn't make it right.
There are times when firing coordinators is in order. There are times when that should happen. But in this instance, for a team to be 1-9, 1-10, whatever they are, to lay the blame at the feet of the two coordinators. I guess the wide receivers coach is the one that one of their former players advised the recruits not to play for, and I'm sure that didn't help. But, those three guys aren't the reason they're not any good.
Yeah. Well, sorry, fellas.
Hey.
Going to be coordinator jobs open in Florida State. Florida State, what are they going to be like next year? Are they going to turn the corner? They're going to get it right back to going, or is this like the beginning of the end?
I don't know.
It's to go from that to 1-9. They can't beat anybody. They got an FCS opponent left on their schedule. I think they might win that game. And that's it. They don't have a chance to beat anybody. I mean, they're incredible how bad that is.
And like they're bad in a bad conference too.
Is SMU going to win the ACC?
SMU is going to win that league.
Miami lost to Georgia Tech over the weekend. I mean, this whole playoff picture is just wild. Who are the SEC teams? Say it today. Who are they now? Who are the SEC teams that are going to be in the college football playoff? Say it now.
The ones with 2 losses.
I mean, Georgia, they going to be in there?
And there's going to be a 3-team SEC team that'll be in the play, a 3-loss SEC team too, perhaps, that'll be in the playoff. If one of these 2-loss teams loses in the conference championship game, they're still going to the playoff.
I'm really interested to see how the selection committee
handles. I don't think they're going to put much weight on conference championship games.
Because
they can't.
Well, I just mean in general because we don't have the newest rankings yet, obviously, but just like going off let's just take the AP top 25 for a second, right? Oregon 1, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4. Penn State wouldn't be favored against any of the top 9 SEC teams, I don't think. Indiana 5, again, great story. have literally not played a good team this year.
Well, see, what I think's interesting is that because of the buys, the best games are going to be the at-large games. When you look at the first round, that's where the best games are going to be. They're going to pump up, the second-seeded so-and-so or the third-seeded. They're going to win in a blowout, or at least it's not going to be as good a game.
No, I mean, my point is, like, the SEC might be as good as it's ever been right now. And like, when teams are just beating up on each other, like there are 9 ranked teams from this league.
I'd still bet on an SEC team winning the playoff.
100%. But my point is, like, you have 4 Big Ten teams in the top 5 right now of the AP poll. Yeah. We'll see how it looks with the selection committee, but it's so far off base. People are so far off base with their rankings right now.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, look at Texas, okay? Texas has played one tough game this year. Georgia, they lost. Colorado State, Michigan, UT San Antonio, Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Georgia at home and lost. Vanderbilt, Florida, then they got Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M. You know, I was thinking about this too. Like, it's become even within a league that's difficult like the SEC, who has the easiest path? But I still think Texas is going to have at least 2 regular season losses before this is all said and done. Either Arkansas is going to get them or Texas A&M, or maybe both.
If Texas doesn't get in the playoff, it's their own fault because the SEC rolled out the red carpet for them. They screwed Oklahoma, and they gave Texas every break in the book when it came to scheduling. And that's part of the reason Oklahoma's not any good, and it's part of the reason Texas is not I'm not sure they're as good as people think they are, but a lot of people think they're among the top 4 or 5 teams in the country. I'm not convinced of that, but they certainly have that reputation right now. But the SEC helped Texas out a lot, and they put the screws to Oklahoma. They did. And I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it, but that's what happened.
So when you look at the resumes up here at the top, Texas hadn't beaten a top 25 team. Tennessee has only beaten 1. It was Alabama. Everybody else has at least 2 wins, and Alabama's got 3 wins over top 25 teams, Georgia, LSU, and Mizzou. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 2-loss teams in consideration. I guess you could ask, Missouri. They think they're in consideration too. But the only 1-loss teams at the top are Texas and Tennessee, and they have had the easiest schedule to date.
Let me ask you guys this question: would it shock you, considering everything that's gone on and how up in arms fans were there at the start of the year? Would it shock anyone if Alabama won the national title?
Wouldn't shock me, but I don't think they're the best team out there.
Well, they look like they're playing better. I expected them to play well Saturday night, and they played well.
One of the things you got to think about too, and you're hitting on the point right there, is that it's about how you're playing at that point. This is going to be much more like basketball and baseball now, because it is going to be who's clicking on all cylinders at the right time. Clearly, that's Ole Miss right now. Clearly, Ole Miss is the team that seems to be putting it together in our league at the right time. But that is going to play a role moving forward. I don't like the idea that somebody may lose a game in September and we all, it's just September. Like we do in basketball, it's just November. But I guess we'll see how it all plays out.
Man, what a weekend.
It was a good weekend.
We got an AD ripping officials, getting fined $40K. We got a potential stalking
situation. Well, we got a football
in
game Saturday,
we got
too.
A Texas week here coming up. We got an Arkansas basketball team that's on the radar. We got to talk about some of this stuff. Let's get back. Let's talk Razorbacks.
That's what I'm thinking.
No, why don't you talk Razorbacks when we come back, Chuck?
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
877-377-6963. It's National Hate Texas Week. And we've got a basketball loss at Baylor to react to. It's all right here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas. When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A blockbuster, earth-quaking type of news story.
Sean Calipari to Arkansas. Arkansas has landed themselves as the biggest brand coach in all of college athletics.
I think Cal will win at Arkansas.
They are more or less the center of the college basketball world.
That's a top 10 team under John Calipari.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here. ESPN 95.3.
What a move by Big Z!
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jasco?
Logos, we do food trucks, cars, we do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jasco. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown trout on the mighty White River, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue will catch them. It has that famous rolling action whether it's fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. This rogue suspends, so it will stay in the strike zone longer, allowing you to catch more fish. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for a limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
My second up, the game plan that he put together, that was fun to watch.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. I'm a patient there, and you can be too. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
You're listening to The Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Look, it's Eminem's birthday.
It is, 52.
What's a 52-year-old Eminem look like?
An old guy with tattoos. Lots of them.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, Bart brought up an interesting
He
point.
really did.
Do you
It
like
happens on
Missouri, hate
occasion.
Missouri? We had to
Rare.
go back and run the tape back to make
Yeah.
sure we heard it right. But you said you're on the fence. Like, you actually think if you had to pick a win for Arkansas football against Texas or Missouri, you only got one, you might pick Missouri.
Yeah.
Have times changed that much?
Well, I don't know that it's times changing for me. Like, look, Texas is my least favorite sports program in the country, period.
In the world,
full
in
stop.
the whole wide world.
Cannot stand them.
I get it.
But Missouri, and this goes back to what I was talking about with Drink earlier, and just their whole program, the fan base, everything, they're insufferable. And they're not a better athletics program than Arkansas is. Top to bottom, they're not. In fact, they're a lot worse, top to bottom, in terms of athletics.
Overall athletic
department. They've had some good years in football here recently. You don't have to be blind to see that, you know.
They were decent under Pinkel.
Right. They were good under Pinkel.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that was in the Big 12.
You just don't like Drink.
Oh, I don't like Drink. I don't like Missouri fans. I don't like it's just enough. It's time for Missouri to be put back in their proper place.
Now we're
okay.
talking.
All
Now we're talking.
Okay, so here's what I'm hearing.
Let's get to the heart of the matter.
That's
what I'm hearing, Chuck. Tell me if this is what you're also hearing. Okay, let's take Texas. We look at Texas and we get that. Okay, we're smaller, they're bigger. They want to tell you how much better they are. They have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to talent, and yet they still find ways to lose to little old Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas has won how many straight games against Texas? Is it 4 or 5, whatever, the last 4 or 5 times? So but that shouldn't happen. Those are upsets, right? These are things we've talked about with Brian. That shouldn't happen if you're Texas.
Right.
So we're the underdog in these games. What you're saying about Missouri is Missouri has been taking it to us, to Arkansas, and there's no reason for it, and it needs to stop.
You're saying losing to Texas, particularly back in the day, was understandable, maybe even, you could justify it.
Sure.
But no justification for losing to Mizzou now. Is that what you're saying?
And it just keeps happening over and over and over again.
Right.
And this year, they look like they're not that good, but they keep winning.
They're an SEC program, and they have an end zone filled with rocks, and people sit on the rocks. What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's a fake SEC program.
They have a press conference in a tent.
Right. Like, what are we doing?
Like a little tent.
Oh, he's going to call you by name, Bart.
That's fine. Whatever.
You better be pulling for the Razorbacks.
I have a little personal history with Missouri too.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, we were wondering when you were going to come out with what happened.
It set the tone early for how I feel about that
Well,
university.
walk us through
in
that.
general.
Walk us through it.
Tell us the personal hate.
So when I was in high school and looking at colleges, I knew I wanted to study journalism. Missouri's regarded as one of the best journalism schools in the country. So I went up there for a weekend. They had this whole seminar thing for people who are interested in journalism. And I left that weekend in Columbia with 2 thoughts.
Tales from Hog Heaven.
Yeah.
I left that week.
Go ahead. We're drawn in now.
Bart with a tail.
2 thoughts. He's got 2 thoughts.
The 2 thoughts were, 1, Columbia is awful. I would never want to live here, even part-time. No, thank you.
Really?
The second thing is the people at Missouri
were
the most like the professors, the people, the most pretentious people that I have ever met. And that stuck with me. And we were in the car on the way back home after that visit. And my parents asked me, well, what'd you think? And I said, there's 0 chance I would ever go to school there. No chance. Not for me. Though I don't like the people. And that has stuck with me. And now it really ticks me off.
Well, look.
Beat Missouri.
Look,
please.
Folks in Missouri do look down on what I'll just, use the term the South. They do, and they always have.
Oh, so they got a little bit of that Big Ten.
They got some of that Big Ten.
They'd be a better fit in the Big Ten than the SEC.
there is.
Okay.
Look, hey, there's a couple of shows in St. Louis that I listen to during the summer. Particularly when the Cardinals are bad because they get on them. They were calling Drinkwitz a hillbilly. I mean, they referred to him as that hillbilly until they had success last year. Now they love him today, although they still privately call him that hillbilly. He doesn't know it, but they do. And but that does go to their attitude. I mean, they do. They take
have an air
pride.
about 'em, yeah.
No, I mean, Bart is onto something there. And the folks that deal with them on a daily basis in the northern part of the state, they know what I'm talking
You
about.
don't think they're in the playoff hunt?
No.
Drink says they're in the playoff hunt.
Well, he's wrong.
Well, why?
They don't have a win of note. They have no strength of
If they
record.
run the table,
Well, neither
they
does
will
Texas.
be.
They don't play
if they run
anybody
the
the
table,
rest of the way, though.
But if they run the table and do all that, they're going to be in the playoff. Now, I don't know that they're going to do that.
I just disagree.
They
with
go
that.
to South
Like,
Carolina,
How many games have they
Mississippi
lost?
State,
2?
and host
Right.
Arkansas.
Well, if they run the table, Bart, they're going to the
They've
playoff.
lost at College Station and at Tuscaloosa.
Right. They have not. They don't have any sort of win of significance.
Now, here's the one thing that could.
But neither does Texas.
But they're Texas.
But Texas has one loss.
Hey, here's
Not
how you
two.
do that playoff. Put the best 4 teams in the SEC, best 4 teams in the Big Ten, ACC champ, Big 12 champ, and Notre Dame. Let them go at it. That's what I'd do.
Well, that'd take away all the drama.
Well,
I
like
the drama.
I think that's how you do it.
I like the unpredictability of it.
I think you do it.
So, who do you dislike more? So Chuck started the show with a very good look back at Texas Week and what it used to mean, like church marquees. Sunday before the Tech.
Yeah.
All week you're going to have something on the marquee about not saving souls, Texas. Like all the windows in the shops had a Beat Texas sign.
Oh, yeah.
People are sending us pictures today from years gone by of Beat Texas. I have a hat in my office gifted to me, horns down. I had a business owner the other day go get like Bevo whatever. Bevo, what is it? Beavis?
Bevo.
Horns down. He's got it up at Tusker's Tavern in Fayetteville.
Well,
the horns upside down. So this is Texas, okay? We got it. Beavis and the whole thing. All right, we got this. Now, though, the new thing is Missouri and everything we're hearing today. And we're talking about Missouri on Texas Week.
Butthead.
Well, this is healthy, actually. This is healthy. You got to have another reason to care about the game. But which one do you like? Do you like less? Texas or Missouri?
I want to beat Texas more than Missouri.
In today's world,
I want to beat Texas.
So
more
I
than
would
Missouri.
expect that for people that have been. But what about some of the newer generation? Do they
Well,
have this disdain for?
I don't think so.
It's personal for Bart.
It's personal for Bart. But here's the thing. I mean, first off, they've not beaten Missouri all that much, but I don't think they're going to be rushing the field when they beat Missouri.
Gosh, when's the last time?
And but no, Texas is still the one. I mean, look, for years and years and years, the third Saturday in October meant Arkansas and Texas. I know in the SEC it always meant Alabama and Tennessee, and still does. But in our league, around here, it always meant Arkansas and Texas. And so I do think there's a great number of people in our state that recall that.
Man, we're talking sports. We want to wish all our veterans a great day. Today we honor them. It's Veterans Day. 877-377-6963. Real sports talk on a Monday. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations. Hey, Chuck, I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies, provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, now more than ever, it's important to partner with a well-trained real estate professional, someone who understands all the ins and outs of the game and makes sense of all the things we read about in the real estate market every day. That's why I've partnered with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, from the very beginning. And that's why I recommend them to you. I remember the first time I bought a home. I didn't have any idea what was going on. They did, fortunately, and they guided me through the process. They listened, and perhaps that's the most important thing. You want someone on your side of the table who understands your needs and who listens. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Fayetteville and Bentonville. They're in the River Valley as well in Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye. Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
There you go.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are holidays stressful for you? Hey, Ty Richardson for the Whippoorwill. The Newmeyers would love to take care of some of that stress by providing you an awesome Thanksgiving dinner. Call the Whippoorwill at 479-769-2095 for the best Thanksgiving catering you've ever had. Smoked turkey breast, dressing, mashed potatoes, and turkey gravy with all the fixins. The Newmeyers' newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, taking care of your holiday this year.
Seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
Catch your wife kissing Santa Claus, whose real name is Bobby from down the street? Want to know your rights in a divorce, custody, child support case? I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call me today to discuss your options. Start the new year off with a new lease on life for you, and let Santa have her. Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Wow! Mommy's kissing Santa Claus! Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I'm telling you, this is what it does.
It's the spirit.
It's the spirit.
I got you.
It's the excitement of the weekend.
I got you.
You wake up, you're a better dad, you're a better husband, you're a better boyfriend, you're a better friend, you're a better neighbor, you're a better person. How could you not be?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
48 degrees in Fayetteville. On the way to a high of 69 today.
Yes,
did you notice
sir.
how I threw the Fayetteville?
I did. That was
Back
good.
when Arkansas and Texas was like the real deal, that's what they call it.
What was Maxine's like back when Arkansas and Texas was the real deal?
Well, it was hopping, and so were all those places down on Dixon. They were all going
Brass
to.
Monkey?
The Brass Monkey was around in the latter years, the gazebo, yeah. But now you're talking about some of your vintage places down there on Dixon, like the Swinging Door and, the library when it was down there, and the old Razorback Pub and the Bullseye Pub and all those places that are gone now that were hopping back when Texas Week was the thing.
We're going to take calls when we come back. I see we got Faster Pastor wants to weigh in on the Missouri, Texas thing. Who do you dislike more? If you had to pick one of those games, we're trying to look at the difference.
It's the coach. It's not the team. It's the coach.
Well, how different generations see this Texas Week. Like, to some, it's the biggest deal ever. Always has been. And we think there's no Missouri rivalry, but Arkansas fans are so tired of losing to them, they're just annoyed by it all.
Yeah. Texas Week this week's not going to have the magic that it did before, and I know that.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Monday, remember what you heard when we came back from break there, the Monday after a win, what are we going to be feeling a week from this Monday? There will be a lot of reaction.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a bounty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon in the middle to upper 60s. Clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, and overnight low will drop down into the low 40s. Tuesday, sunny skies. The high will be in the low 60s north, upper 60s south. And then Wednesday, a chance of a few showers, highs near 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 original bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for a limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Clarksville Saturday, November 16th and Sunday, November 17th. On Saturday, the doors open from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 till 3. The American Patriot Promotions Clarksville Gun Show is at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for military and police. Plus, veterans get in for only $5. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What I was going to say was that the public reaction, response, whatever you want to call it, to the possibility of you shaving or not shaving has been overwhelming, and I'm not really sure what. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that or not.
I don't. It's very weird.
It is weird. It's just flat out weird. It's strange.
I think you
should he shave? Should he not shave?
I think you just made it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio show.
Two bald white guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Bart's basically answering the question. You know, his hatred for Missouri, this generational thing. My generation hated Texas. Bart hates Missouri. He hates Eli Drinkwitz. He does. You do, don't you?
Hate is a strong word. I dislike.
Okay, fair enough.
I dislike his smarmy personality.
Dislike him.
Oh my God!
At a higher level than most. Would that be
sure.
fair?
That's fine.
Wow.
All right.
That's fine.
Chuck just dives right in.
I'm just saying.
Anything for the show.
I'm just saying.
Leaves nothing to the imagination.
For the show. No, none of that. Drink is. Hey, they're firmly in the playoff hunt. If you don't believe me, just ask them.
All right, what was the line on the Missouri-South Carolina game? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
Did I interrupt?
Bart had it. Yeah, well, I was going to play Drink, but go ahead.
13.5.
Okay.
South Carolina, a 13.5 point favorite. Tells you everything you need to know about Missouri.
I don't know if this soundbite actually does Drink justice here. It's the look on his face that really helps.
What does this do for your football team moving forward? I know you know about your team. You know about their demeanor. What does this do for you moving forward from now?
It gives us another win, keeps us in the playoff hunt. That's right, I said it, playoff hunt.
Thanks.
M-I-Z.
Thanks.
That's right, I said it. What does that mean? That's right. I said it. Playoff hunt.
See, I think it was what he said.
Calling now.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't hate him, but you're going to call him a dork.
Well, that's a dorky thing, to, like the way he laid that out, the way he said it.
It was
it's
the
dorky.
stoop stuff that got me. It was the stoop stuff.
Let's go to the phones. 877-377-6963. It's Monday. It's Veterans Day. It's Texas week, and we're talking about Mizzou. I never had this happening. This is up there with how you relieve stress. Wasn't anything I saw coming today. Hatred for Mizzou. And a personal story
Fueled
about
by
how
Bart.
uppity everybody was there when you
Fueled.
went on your college visit.
That's right.
I don't like him, man.
Faster pastors in Springdale. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Shout out to all the veterans today. My
Yes,
dad's
sir.
a veteran, and give him a shout out. He lives down in Crossett, Arkansas. That's where I grew up. And I went to school in Kansas State University, but I am a Hog fan through and through. I have forgotten all about those years at Kansas State. But I will say this. I graduated as the last year that the Big 8 Conference was intact. And I grew up watching two games on Saturday, whoever Oklahoma was playing and whoever Notre Dame was playing. So I'm kind of old school that way. I like reading stuff in the paper, and I like listening to the radio. And when Missouri, with their traitor blood that they have in them, left the Big 12 Conference,
Traitors.
it made me so angry that I have such a disdain for them that I hope that not only do we beat them this year so badly that they fire the coach, but I hope that they never I hope they never win another football game as long as they have a program, and that they lose so badly that in a couple of years they just dismantle the football program. That's how I feel about it.
Well, man.
You and Bart.
Yeah. What about Texas?
You know, I only got to pick one.
That's true. We did ask for one, and
Yeah.
you delivered it
You
well.
did ask for one.
Yeah, we did. Thank you.
I don't.
sir.
I
Great
don't-
call.
I don't think
Yes,
he's
sir.
going to be pastoring any
a great-
churches in Missouri. I don't. I don't think that Missouri conference is going to say, "Yeah, let's bring him up here."
It's a great call.
That was good. I like that.
It came out of nowhere, and it's been simmering. But there's a dislike for Missouri.
Hey,
that
this
that
was
is real.
going on in the '90s when Arkansas couldn't beat SMU. When Houston Nutt was hired, it was not when are you going to beat Alabama. It was when are you going to beat SMU.
And they weren't any good.
And they were horrible. And we couldn't beat them to save our lives. And it's kind of getting that way with – I'm not saying Missouri's horrible, but I'm saying that Arkansas has trouble beating them.
Let's be honest. Drink has embraced the idea
loves
of
it.
making himself unlikable. You mentioned it off air earlier. Rhett Lashley and Eli Drinkowitz are two major college football coaches from Arkansas that we know well. And one of them is likable, and the other one isn't right now.
But one of them doesn't want to be likable.
Right.
Well,
and Rhett's not trying to be. He's just being him, but he's also not out there unnecessarily just taking shots at everybody. Like, Drink, how did he even find that stuff about Oklahoma?
Well,
he's going to find something about everybody.
Here's the thing about what happened after the game Saturday. I got no problem with the playoff stuff. I got no problem with him saying that. He's playing to his crowd, and more power to him. You should say stuff like that after you win a big game. But it was calling Stoops out by name. Look, I'm no Bob Stoops fan, but Eli Drinkwitz is no Bob Stoops. I mean, let's just get right down to it. He's not. He's a good coach, but he's not Bob Stoops.
Oh, this is all going on the bulletin board.
And, I mean, Stoops has done some things that, I mean, Sam Pittman's no Bob Stoops. There's lots of coaches out there that are no Bob Stoops.
Also not taking shots.
Well, you're right.
Here's
You're
Eli
right.
Drinkowitz on Bob Stoops.
Yeah, this will be real disappointing to Bob Stoops, but OU doesn't always whip Missouri's ass anymore. So
What
with that,
Stoops
I'll
said
open it for
over the
questions.
summer was, we always beat the hell out of Missouri. What he should have said was, I always beat the hell out of Missouri. That's what he should have said. And because that would have been 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And Drinkwitz wouldn't have anything to say about that. But again, I'm no Bob Stoops fan, but or at least not the biggest. But Bob Stoops deserves a little bit better than that.
Titus says
earn better than that.
Titus says he thinks SMU would beat Arkansas right now. Well,
They
SMU's
might.
a different program.
They might.
Right
Who
now.
knows?
They're playing for the ACC title. They're playing for the playoff.
Back then, it wasn't like that.
36-year-old Cash in Mountain Home. Hate Mizzou way more. Don't care one bit about Texas. It isn't 1970. Well, look, if you can't get on board to hate Texas, there's just something not right about you. I mean, it ain't about just back then.
You're not from around here.
I mean, Texas is unlikable
in every aspect.
They just make that like the same thing. Well, actually, we've just the commonality here is you're unlikable.
Yeah,
like
you're just plain unlikable.
It's and you know, I mean, some people are, some people aren't, but I mean, Texas makes it so that you continue to remember that they're unlikable. Like they want to remind you, hey, we're unlikable. Don't forget. Drink, Mizzou, we're unlikable. Don't forget. Never forget. We're unlikable. Oh, you started to forget. We're going to remind you that we're unlikable. We're starting to slip
there's a certain
here.
amount of truth to that.
I mean, Texas, I don't even know if they embrace not being like. Now, Drink seems to embrace it. I don't know if Texas embraces it. They just look down at you about everything.
Right. T-sippers, man.
What's the line in the Texas game, Arkansas?
16.5.
And what's the line in the South Carolina-Missouri game?
13.5.
Holy cow.
Okay. South Carolina's pretty good at home. I mean,
South Carolina's pretty good.
Well, you're right.
They got their
are.
quarterback
They
healthy.
are.
They got
They're good at
Rocket
home,
Sanders.
though.
They
They're
got a good
especially
front
good at
seven.
home. They're especially good at home.
They went into Vanderbilt and just they had Clark Lee saying things after the game I didn't know he was capable of saying. We got a 3-phase bleep whipping. Kids are on the way to school. Try to
you're in
church
the
it up a
adult
little
hour
bit.
now.
Yeah.
You're in the adult hour now.
Yeah,
They're
kids
at
are on the way to
school.
school.
Say whatever
Kids
you
have a
want.
great day at school. My daughter's off to a rough start. She can't find her makeup bag. Doesn't know where her shoes are.
Titus, you were citing Titus's call a minute ago or a text there. Isn't
Monday.
it amazing? We love going to Dallas, but we hate Texas. I mean, I enjoy going to Dallas. It's in Texas. But when you say, do you hate Texas? Well, of course I hate Texas.
There's a lot of interesting things happening in Texas, like where the sun shines in the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, it does.
If you missed all that.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones was taking heat because CeeDee Lamb said he tried to catch a touchdown and he couldn't see the ball. The sun was coming in through the beautiful windows at AT&T Stadium. And Jerry was asked about it after the game, and he said every team that comes in here has the same issues. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. You know where the sun's going to be shining. Someone asked me about the sun. What about the sun? Where's the moon?
Well, he's talking to C.D. Lamb there. Shut up and catch the ball, man. Don't act like it's the first time you've ever played in this stadium.
We paid you,
Give me
CD.
a break.
Here to remind us. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, everybody's on Jerry's, you know what about that, but C.D. Lamb's not exactly come through for him.
Yes, you know what. Here's another you know what. Brian in Ozark.
Hey, man, I was just calling to tell you what a great week in sports y'all had this week, you know. I mean, you get the $10 million man, gets butt kicked by Baylor. Your women's soccer team gets your butt kicked by the Longhorns, and you got an ass beating coming Saturday by the Texas when it can be more than 16.5 points.
How are you able to contain all your
Coming,
glee,
baby, you're
Brian?
coming. This is the week been waiting for. The Hogs getting crushed. Who got Longhorns? Yeah, baby. Bye-bye.
It's the most emotion I've heard out of Brian in forever.
Right.
He just hung up.
I know he was excited about that big soccer win.
Did you hear the hit and run there?
I don't know what happened.
It was a hit and run.
Yeah, that's
Came
exactly
on,
what it
screamed,
was.
ran
That's
on.
exactly what.
Fight
that's
or flight.
exactly
Brought
right.
his own fight or flight
He
to the
did.
show.
That's right.
And it was a fight that fizzled into a flight pretty quickly.
Well, he doesn't want to engage us. That's for the other shows.
Gosh, dang, Brian. I mean, I wish you could just even be 30% of what you're trying to be. Like, you come in here and it's almost a good character on the show. Almost. And then you just disappoint every time. Like, you set this bar as a character on the show, and then you don't live up to it. Like, I'm going to be this, and we're all, like, hanging on, hoping. You've gotten to the point where it's sad. It's almost like we can't even dislike
We're
you
in the
because
pity
we feel
stage.
bad for you.
Bo's moved into the pity stage.
It's
when
like
it comes to Brian.
you're a disabled pet. Like a three-legged dog.
Very similar to
You
that.
just got to feel bad for
Yeah,
you.
I was thinking
8:15. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Not even one.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so
Two
many
pussycats
new
in
car
front of their own
sales, we always
fans.
have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweating 'em Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatingthemcosmetic.com and click on the Sweating 'em Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
Get ready for the biggest sporting event of the year in the Arklahoma area. Modern Gun Deer Season 2024 and Jelco Outdoors has everything you need to have a great hunt. Hunting clothing and boots, rifles, ammo, tree stands, ground blinds, cover scents, feeders, knives, rangefinders, and everything you need for all the family to have a great deer season. Jelco wishes all the hunters good luck and safe hunting from your friends at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
November is the month for thankfulness, and all of us here at Crabtree RV Center in Alma are thankful for our loyal customers who voted us the best of the River Valley and the best of the best in 2024. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years. November is the month for thankfulness, and all of us here at Crabtree RV Center in Alma are thankful for our loyal customers who voted us the best of the River Valley and the best of the best in 2024. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based scram
He
things.
means the website, which is shop on Razorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Wherever you are this morning, how old do you think Katy Perry is? What do you think? What do you think, Chuck?
38.
It's right in front of you.
Let me guess, as it says 40 on the page.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
From the 870 here, Chuck.
Yeah.
You know your football program is in shambles when nobody claims you as a rival. LOL. I love the LOL text to the show.
Yeah, those are always good.
LOL. Arkansas is that kid that heard about the party and just randomly showed up to stand in the corner and nod at Vandy across the room. That's coming in from the 870.
Well, we got one from the 479 that says, "Damn, Bo and disabled dog on Brian."
Yeah. Well, I
Pick
mean,
your favorite text.
It seemed appropriate.
It did.
I mean, he's like a wounded animal at this point. Like he comes in all like, playing this character of he's going to be all tough, and then he's scared. Like he called in and he rattled off some things and then he just
He
ran
didn't
off.
really say it like he meant it, did he?
No.
He didn't speak with conviction.
No. It was like he stuck his head around the corner like, "You stinking directly at my," and runs out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like a Texas fan.
He's backing away from you as he's insulting you so he can get far enough away to run.
That's right. You're lucky
I
they're
got something
holding
to
him
tell you.
back.
I mean, you're so bad, you're so ugly, I can't say you. Ah! And away he goes.
Would you do that again?
Yeah,
Really.
please.
Make that noise again. Howard Deanish.
Do you see, McAfee can get Saban to do things on game day that nobody else can. He had him roar like a lion.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I missed that, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Hey, somebody tweeted something about how McAfee can get Grandpa to do things that other people can't.
Well, Saban's being paid pretty well.
Yeah, I mean,
if they want him to roar like a lion, he's going to have to roar like a lion. If they tell him to bark like a dog.
He's also said the S word now a couple of times.
Yeah, I was about to say he's
know.
been swearing
Yeah,
on
yeah.
game day now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they've been pushing the envelope on game day.
Oh yeah,
they
well,
really have.
I don't know. It was your first clue when they hired McAfee.
Well, I mean, they're going for it now.
I mean, there's no holding back.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's a great show again, though.
I will
we've
admit
talked-
I've
we've talked
watched
about
it
it a little
more
bit, but-
this year than I have probably in the last 5 years combined.
I agree. It's a great show again.
I had drifted away from game day, and now I've drifted back.
Sound like you went to a revival.
Well, I mean, there's things you could be
drifted
doing
away.
other than watching game day, and it's just like it didn't really interest me that much anymore. You can only watch Corso put the headgear on so many times.
400 and something.
You can only hear Desmond Howard laugh at things that aren't funny so many times, and then the show gets boring. And
that's why I'm not on game day. They said we've already got one of those guys.
I guess that's right.
Yeah, who
yeah.
laughs at things that aren't funny.
Yeah.
We've already got that covered. And he won a Heisman, so you're out.
Well, it's the Heisman thing.
How about Jake Bates, former Razorback?
52 and 58.
Listen,
There's the snap, spot, kick away. It is up, and it is good. He got it. We're going to fly home on the wings of Jake Bates. Oh, baby. Good from 58. Good from 52. And that's good enough for a victory for the Detroit Lions.
Any questions?
Pretty much sums it up.
Nobody knew who Jake Bates was when he was at Arkansas. They never knew who he was because Cam Little had the kicking duties. Somehow Arkansas had 2 kickers go to the NFL, and they're making game winners this year.
I know. I'd like to have one of them back.
I know. It's crazy. Like you have it all or you don't have enough. You have 2 guys, then you're kind of – kickers are hard to get, man. At every level.
Well, and it's
hard to have.
It's hard for them to
and
stick.
It changes the game.
No doubt.
Like Ole Miss controlled that game against Georgia in part because they were able to get points on every possession. Yes, they were field goals, but you miss those field goals, and it just changes things. Changes the way the game's played. Football is interesting from this standpoint to me. We all talk about it after the game. And you can't really fully analyze a football game talking about it after the game. Because during the game, like the in-game moments that occur changes the way the game is played. Momentum, if you just get that first down that one time, if you make that field goal instead of missing it, like it can change the way a game's played, how a team's going to scheme the rest of the game or the next possession. Or, just capitalizing on momentum.
Whether or not you've got a kicker or not determines virtually every play call you make when you get into plus territory, I would think.
That was great analysis, by the way. I just want you to know. I'm putting that on my resume tape.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Thank you.
it was good. You might get a good job out of that.
No,
but, you're right, though.
I was recently fired by my agent, so
it does,
I'm going to be here a while.
It does. it changes the way you call the game. There's no doubt about it. And if you think kickers don't matter, well, find yourself without one. And you'll find out very quickly how much they matter.
100%.
Now, it's not the kind of analysis you'd offer.
No, it's great.
But it's more of a quick hit.
It was good.
You know.
Chiefs are 9-0.
I tried to sum it up.
Let me give you some headlines, Chuck. You want
What
some
Bo
headlines?
was trying to say.
Let me give you some headlines. You want some headlines?
I do.
Okay, I'm glad you do because I have some headlines. Chiefs are 9-0 after they blocked a field goal to win against the Broncos.
Fix is in. It's a fix.
The Broncos snatched victory. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Like they had it. Had it just right where they wanted. I mean, what was the field goal? Like a 28-yarder?
Yeah, chippy.
Yeah.
You got witchcraft going on up there in Kansas City, man. I mean, they do. There's like weird stuff going on.
Okay, tell me more.
I'm just saying when's the last time you saw a kick like that blocked at the end of the game?
No, not in the NFL.
Exactly. And it's just they got that mojo thing going right now.
Appalachian State beating Michigan.
Well,
I think
yeah.
is the last.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
4 of the 9 wins for the Chiefs. They're 9-0. 4 of the wins have been the last play of the game.
They've won 12 straight one-possession games.
They just find ways to win, man. They don't always look good doing it, but they find ways to win. Also, Mizzou keeps finding ways to win. You got to give them credit. I mean, what a dumpster fire at the end of the game for Brent Venables in Oklahoma. I mean, this has just not gone well for Venables in Oklahoma.
No, I think
Oklahoma beat Mississippi State in Starkville. Have they played this year? Have they played each other, Bart? Do you think Oklahoma could go to Starkville and win?
No.
Do you think Mississippi State could go to Norman and win?
No.
Oklahoma could go to Starkville and win.
You
Yes,
think?
they could.
Oklahoma's
Yes.
one SEC win this year was at Auburn.
They don't play.
That's right. They came back and beat Auburn.
You know, thankfully for them, they've got a bye week, and then the rest of their schedule is not that difficult. It's Alabama and then at Baton Rouge. So
hey, the
it's
SEC
gonna be a
did not do
fantastic
Oklahoma any
finish.
favors.
Seriously, let's just talk about if you're Oklahoma and Texas, and you're Oklahoma, you feel like you got absolutely bamboozled by the league office.
Well, they did.
You got screwed.
They did. And Texas got helped, and I don't think that was by accident.
I didn't have a strong enough word. I was trying to PG it, and it's just, but they got absolutely, like put in your own adjective. Like, wow.
They
That's
got the
just
short
wrong.
end of the stick.
Yeah, they just,
It could have been more fair.
yeah. Man, what
they wanted
Just
Texas
brutal.
to come in and do well, but they had to have one of those teams to let everybody else know. Life's a lot different in the SEC now. And I actually think Oklahoma got hosed by the league office. And I, again, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for them, but I think they got hosed.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt
Texas
about it.
got helped a lot.
By the way, Brian mentioned Arkansas losing to Baylor, 72-67. Any thoughts on the game? We'll get into maybe this a little bit when we come back. Bart's he's a basketball aficionado. Also, we're going to go to the continuity room with Bart. Bart's got some continuity stats that he wants to share. I mean,
I love a good continuity stat.
100%. I mean, when's the last time you heard a continuity stat you didn't relate to?
Hey, here's a stat you need to remember: 1-2, 1-2 in locks. That's the stat you need to remember.
Gosh, yeah, Bart had another losing weekend.
It's a trend now. Back-to-back 1-2 weekends.
What happened, man? Now, don't tell me
People
that
are
Oklahoma
losing money.
fumbled.
Do you feel bad because people lost money because of you
Do you
over
feel
the
a certain
weekend?
responsibility
Really?
to the people who follow you?
Do you think you need to apologize?
No.
Do you
I'm not
think you
gonna
need
go
to
that
say,
far.
I got outsmarted, I apologize?
Hey, I will say this. I do apologize for the Vandy pick because they didn't show up
Yeah.
ready to go for that game.
No, they didn't.
Papalock has a
I thought
they got
that
a
was-
lawsuit
That
against him.
quarterback's getting a little too big. He's
Big for
talking
his
about
britches,
firing or talking about suing the NCAA. It's like, dude, man, you're still the Vanderbilt quarterback. You're better than most they've had.
Yeah.
But you're still the Vanderbilt quarterback, so let's not get carried away.
I'm just confused. Like Bart's locks, I feel like it's sort of like a safe that got broken into, and they took all your belongings. I mean, you can't really say say it's a lock.
And
if
once the dam breaks, it's it's hard to
yeah,
it's hard to
you-
get it
you,
back in there.
You're struggling with momentum right now.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get Uncle Mo back on our side.
All right, we'll react to the Razorback basketball game and go to the continuity room when we come back. Who knows what else is going to happen? It's been a marvelous Monday. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank. Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric, where right now Pascal has the water heater installation for less than $2,000 that you're going to get done professionally with licensed and insured techs, and you get guarantees that you don't get when you do it yourself. So go Pascal.com. Check out their water heater setup for less than $2,000. Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, and the Sweat No Madge bringing you the Chuck and Bo Show this morning at 8:30. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians, backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield. The 40, the 30. College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas.
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jam Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jam Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
The Study Basketball Training has moved to the Hangout in Fort Smith. With basketball training classes from kindergarten through high school, there is a spot for your athlete. Depending on your skill set and training needs, the Study offers 3 class options: fundamentals, advanced, and 94 feet. You can also work on your explosiveness with Vertimax training or perfect your shot on the Dr. Dish machine. The Hangout, 5400 Gary Street, or thestudyhoops.com for more details. Fitness, sports, and now the Study Basketball Training. Let's hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders has it all. Brand new, used, that's right. CF Moto, Arctic Cat, and Segway side-by-sides and ATVs, all with a free 5-year warranty. Only offered by Adventure Oklahoma. Plus, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, and Falcon bass boats with delivery up to 100 miles away. The lowest priced pre-owned vehicles in the area with 90 days to your first payment.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later. Well, until then, visit Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based gram
He
things.
means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Hart's.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Let's be honest. In the South, college football is a moral play. I mean, if you win, you're on the right side of God. If you lose, you better get right with Jesus. I mean, that's just how it works.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A lot of texting today.
Yeah, there has been a lot of texting. Quick texts.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll go to the basketball game as well. Brent and Cersei. Brent, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. What's happening?
Good morning. Good morning, Chuck and Bo. How are you guys?
The mouth.
Doing great, man. Doing great, Brent.
The mouth is here.
What you got, man?
I have a question first about the basketball game.
Okay.
I tell you, I am frustrated with the national pundits. I go on YouTube, I try to listen to them, and they say that Arkansas is Kentucky all over from Cal.
Who's saying that?
I want to say
I've seen some of that.
The field
okay.
64. You know, all those
Bunch of slappies. Yeah, bunch of slappies with a video camera.
Yeah, I saw with John Rothstein.
A couple of those guys hate Cal.
No, it's very personal with Cal.
It is.
John Rothstein said, man, I can't wait to see Arkansas in a month. These guys, you know, anybody that understands and doesn't have an agenda or knows basketball understands Arkansas is a team that's being put together and developed. Baylor's the same way. I mean, there's a lot of these teams up here. They're new rosters.
Hey, I can't agree more. I can't wait to see what we look like in December or when we get ready to go to Madison Square Garden to play Michigan or Miami. You know what? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't wait. We're headed in the right direction with basketball, and even though we lost, Coach Calipari saw a lot of good coaching points and a lot of good things our team did Saturday night.
He said as much.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, he said as much after the game.
Now, I want to talk about Razorback football for a minute, if I can. And this is not meant as our football program is at a crossroads right this very second.
Oh. Tell me more.
Program or season? Program or season, Brent?
Both.
Okay.
Both,
Go ahead.
both.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
Our program is at a point where we have got to decide as a fan base, do we want to make the commitment financially to the NIL that do we want to be, because Ole Miss has passed us by now with their NIL deals and things such as that. And I understand it'll take an awful lot to have a war chest like they do. I understand that. But do we want to be just an average football program, or do we want to be a football program like we had been before the 90s? That's my whole
So you're saying that they're at a
proud
crossroads
Razorback fan.
financially. Like, are people going to give to the program or not? That's what you're saying?
Exactly. We've got to make that decision, and I do believe that this season is at a crossroads. Come Saturday, we have got to play our best game of the year against Texas Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Because if we don't, we'll get our doors blown off. And that's unacceptable at home.
Well, you can say that about 2/3 of the teams in the SEC, though. I agree with you. You can get blown out if you don't play well. But Texas is not the only team in the league that can do that to you.
I don't expect Arkansas to win the game. Like, I don't go into this game expecting Arkansas to win. But I do think that you have a rivalry situation here that you ought to be able to get maximum effort from your team. And you're coming off a bye week. They didn't play particularly well coming off the last bye week. What will they look like coming out of this bye week? You do expect them to win the game?
I expect them to win every game, Bo.
Yeah, okay. That's coach talk.
That's
I do. Coach talk.
I will admit by Friday of most every week, I've convinced myself Arkansas is going to win. I am not one of these people. Oh, I've got to be right in my prediction. I got to be right, otherwise they're going to come back and tell me I was wrong.
Well, predictions make fools of us all. I mean, most people are not above 500 in predictions.
That's right.
And Bart is fading fast.
Yeah,
it's one of the few. He's fading fast.
It's cyclical. It is.
I mean, but they got
fair enough.
You know,
we'll get right. We'll get right.
Really? You going to make it all back during bowl season?
I still got a winning record, Joe.
I'm just saying.
A substantial winning record.
Are you one of those who really goes nuts in bowl season, though?
No.
Are you not?
Well,
because I've heard bettors say that's when you can really find the lines that are easy to beat.
I don't like it now because of all the opt-outs.
And
like, teams look completely different in bowl games than they do. Like, you have to throw out all the data you have from the season and just start from scratch. And
Brett said something about Arkansas crossroads, and that's not where I was expecting him to go with the whole NIL thing. But he went there, and there is a point to be made, and that is a couple things. We're going to have this rev share thing come into play, which I think minimizes to some extent NIL dollars because everybody's going to have money at that point. And NIL will still play a role, but will it be as prevalent a role as it is right now? That remains to be seen. One of the things that I keep hearing from fans is we can activate more NIL money in our state, but people have to believe in the product before they're going to do that. And it's a little bit of a chicken egg thing, right? Like if you go hire Cal, you figure out of the gate you're getting a Hall of Fame coach who's won a national championship, who has the best players year in and year out, or among the best players, top 2 or 3 recruiting classes in the country, year in and year out for years, like over a decade. And so if you're going to, and I don't know how many people are giving money to the basketball program, but it does stand to reason you invest in that. For whatever reason, if people don't believe in the direction of the football program, then they're probably not going to invest as much money in that. How this will, I wouldn't say Arkansas is at a crossroads. I think we're not there at this moment. I think winning some games is really important to what we're talking about here going into the next season. But it does play a factor in who's giving money, your belief in the head coach or the direction of the program.
There's no doubt it does. But I also think, too, one of the things that is, I won't say hurting Arkansas, but I think this is part of the attitude in our state is they just don't like the idea of NIL, period. Let's not act like there's this groundswell of everyday Arkansans giving money to basketball NIL. The NIL money basketball has is coming from a by comparison, relatively small group of people. The bulk of it is. I don't think you've got any more public giving to John Calipari than you do to Sam Pittman. Now, you got a few more rich people that are willing to throw some money at John Calipari than maybe they are Sam Pittman. But this idea that if they would just hire a rock star to be the football coach, that everybody in Arkansas would start pumping $10 into it every time they leave the house, I think that's a pipe dream. I don't think that's going to change anybody's attitude.
No, I agree. You're talking about a similar situation to Cal, I think, in these people's minds.
And
that more rich people are going to give to
and
their...
that might very well happen. But the idea, though, that it's a crossroads for the program because of how our fans, whether or not we're going to get on the ball, fund the NIL, I don't think, and my guess would be if you really delved into the Ole Miss numbers, the majority of the money they have is not coming from the average everyday Mississippian. It's coming from a group of people who probably live out of state. I know one of them lives in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and they're the ones that are giving that money. It's Ole Miss people that have dispersed around the South that are giving the majority of that money to that program.
877-377-6963 if you want to call or text the show. We've gotten a lot of that. We got a lot of Brian comments. Heard the call from Brian in Ozark this morning. Morning drinking is a cry for help.
Unless it's Saturday or Sunday, then it's a little more acceptable.
877
Monday morning, though, yeah, that's a different deal.
6963. Hey, if you missed the show, you can hear it on demand. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, just search the Chuck and Bo Show. You can also find us on Hit That Line Now, the hitthatline.com website. Yes, Bart.
You can watch the show in its entirety on YouTube as well. After,
really?
Wow. Yeah. Search Chuck and Bo Show on YouTube.
We're going to have to make some changes around here. I'm not sure I'm entirely comfortable.
All 3 hours?
The whole show?
The entire deal?
Show.
On
when
YouTube.
When are we going to do premium subscription for the content during the breaks?
That's what it's all about.
I mean,
man.
that's next level.
Yeah.
That's like Chuck and Bo Show behind the scenes. You get that advanced package. You get
we got
all the swear words during the breaks.
Send $100 check payable to me, and I'll make sure you get that delivered to you.
We're gonna hit a break and come back and get some. We're gonna get some basketball insight from Bart.
Hey, let me talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company first. If you are in the market to buy or sell a home, I want to recommend them wholeheartedly to you. They've been my partner for a number of years, and I can tell you that they're with you every step of the way. When you're spending the most money you've ever spent, you want somebody on your side of the table that understands where you're coming from, understands what you want out of the deal, understands what you want out of a home, listens to you, keeps the line of communication open with you. That's part of service. And I'm going to tell you, when you deal with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, that's what you're always going to experience is uncommon customer service. And to me, that's what separates them from everybody else. I can tell you about my experience. And I think it's going to be your experience, too. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington, and Benton counties. They've got an office in Fort Smith, servicing Missouri and Arkansas out of their office in Branson. They've been serving our residents, turning houses into homes since 1978. And you can check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
847, 48 degrees. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good Monday morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
You know, for me, when it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's just one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, hand-picked for their quality and beauty. And they don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you every step of the way. So whether it's a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or maybe just treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French Toast Turkey Melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Ty Richardson live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Caleb, 50 years.
This will be our 50th year in business. A lot of customers get us confused as only a rental place where they rent for proms and weddings, but we've classically been the men's store in Fort Smith, Arkansas. We try to be a little different. You can come in and look different at Rainwater's.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, gentlemen. Here's my question about Eddie's calls. Is anybody else up? Woo! Or do they wake up to Eddie screaming in the living room? How would you like to wake up like that?
I felt like I had gas filled up, baby.
What happens like when relatives come over and stay the night? Like, hey, we're from out of town, and all you hear is him like, and then I went to this song.
So I cranked up this song. Woo!
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think we need an Eddie alarm clock. That's what we need. You need an Eddie alarm clock.
Christmas. It's got to be on Amazon. We got to get it out there. Hey, if you suffer from sleep apnea, you don't like wearing your CPAP machine because it's uncomfortable, not wearing it can lead to severe health problems. But there are other options. Dr. Scotty Bolding's an Arkansas native. He's a friend of the show. We've known him for a long time. He's a world-renowned surgeon, and he's got proven surgical alternatives that can help you breathe better. Do yourself a favor. Call the Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine at 479-755-3000. Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine. Breathe better, sleep better, eliminate some potential health concerns by doing so. You know, Scott Drew talked about Arkansas and Baylor being similar in that they have new rosters. You know, Baylor got blown out by a Gonzaga team that's returning 6 of their top 7 scorers from last year. Many people think are the preeminent favorite to win the Natty. When you get to postseason, who knows what's going to happen. But the bigger point is these teams that haven't played much together can be uber talented, but just not together as a team yet. And Bart's in the continuity room, Chuck.
Oh.
And he's got a continuity update for us on Arkansas basketball.
Gotta love some good continuity.
Yeah, right.
And this is the kind of stuff that you get from real news.
Yeah, so Arkansas ranks 318th nationally in continuity, and basically a percentage of like how often these guys have played together. Baylor also well down in the rankings in the low 200s. To your point, Gonzaga 9th. They have a lot of guys who are really good who have played together for a while. That's why they're good. That's why they're a team to watch this year. And that's why this Arkansas team is only going to get better as the season goes along and these guys get more and more minutes together. It's a work in progress.
Well, there you have it, right there. Everything's going to be okay.
We don't know.
Well, I think he's right, though. I think he's right.
It's got something to do with it.
It's part of the reason Gonzaga looks so impressive right now. It's part of the reason Baylor looked discombobulated in that game. It's part of the reason there have been some times early on in Arkansas when you can tell they're not all together yet. It's November. If this stuff is happening in February, that's a different deal. But it's November, and it should be treated as such.
And Cal's been telling us this is how it will likely go. They play Troy on Wednesday night. Chuck and Bo Show. We'll try and do better tomorrow. Have a great day.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry